Good evening. My name is David McNary. I'm the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Welcome to the May 26th meeting of the Hyde Park Zoning Board of Appeals. Will each member confirm that they are alone or that no one is present that may influence his or her vote? Please raise your hand.
James Agrawal,
Yes.
Paul Donnelly,
Yes.
Richard Perkins,
Yes.
John Chileppi,
Yes.
David McNary.
Yes. I've confirmed with the Zoning Board of Council that tonight's meeting has been convened in accordance with the New York State Executive Order 202.1, which suspends certain provisions of the open meeting law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. The public has been provided with the ability to view and participate in tonight's meeting, which is being streamed on the town's YouTube channel. I've done a roll call of the board members and there is a quorum present for this meeting. I've also confirmed with the zoning secretary that this meeting has been duly noticed. We will now commence with the Pledge of Allegiance, which I will I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As the chairman, I want to make one comment before we begin officially. Herb Sweet has stepped down from the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I and the board members want to thank him for his tenure with the Zoning Board. Herb has brought energy, curiosity, and great technical knowledge and know-how to the board. We are extremely grateful. We also want to recognize him for all his contributions to making this community, Hyde Park, more viable for all of us. We will miss his unique perspective, his humor, and his service. Thank you, Herb Sweet. We miss you already. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes of the April 28th meeting?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. We have a second set of minutes for the May 12th meeting. And may I have a motion for the approval of those minutes?
Jim.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Minutes passed. We go to the first appeal, is 21-03Z, Haas appeal. This first item on the agenda is for the appeal of a notice of violation issued by our zoning administrator with respect to an alleged violation of the zoning law at 290 Cream Street by the owner, Ron Haas. May I have a motion to open the public meeting?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome. The public hearing is now open and the public is limited to the appeal. The public hearing is limited to the appeal of the zoning administrator's notice of violation, which found that the use of the property was in violation of the zoning law and the conditions of the use variance previously granted to the property to allow the use of a building contractor's facility and office. The applicant presented the appeal at our April 28th meeting. Is there anything that the applicant would like to add regarding the appeal before we open the floor for public comment? Mr. Haas?
Yes, correct. I would like to add that I was grateful to speak with Serena and Tad Moss in regards to our last meeting on April 28th in regards to what might best suit me in going forward on my behalf being within compliance with the town of Hyde Park in order to try to be able to utilize the parking lot area, which I have materials.
So any other thoughts on that?
At this point in time, we're looking forward to the secondary. They had mentioned that to utilize a special use permit and a site plan approval going forward with partaking in a salvage yard. Within the regards to the salvage yard, there's one that says over 10,000 feet. My parking lot is 10,025 square feet. In regards to what I would like to move forward with, if doing so, I still need to utilize the parking area for parking of cars that do come in there. So we would not be utilizing the whole entire area. So as we move forward, there would be a certain amount of that area that the material would need to be there stored per se. And I was just wondering if there was ever an opportunity, like when I was first granted the use variance, enabling me to have a storage area in the back of the facility. And I was just wondering if there was ever like an attachment or an amendment for per se within the confines of the storage area, but then utilizing a portion of my parking lot for maybe per se outdoor storage, not within undercover, right? So I'm just trying to work through being within compliance and how I can be in compliance with the town, and just have a great business within the town, and look forward to seeing how I could proceed and what would be the best avenue that would work for everyone.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
I appreciate your time.
Is there any, are there any, at this time, we'll accept any public comments? Are there anybody there in the public who would like to make comments or questions? Neil, do we have some?
Yes, Dave,
Yes.
we have Ari Raleigh, Troy Frankie, and Barbara Hovens. So you can call on whatever order you'd like.
Barbara, do you want to start, please?
Yes, certainly. I've been to the site and I see stone and metal, which is not like it's a lot of construction materials and boards and, shingles and whatnot. It's just natural materials that wouldn't be an issue being outside. So I just hope that there can be something worked out, because it's a great thing to be able to get salvaged materials and have things for not just contractors, but landscapers. And it's a positive, very positive business. So I really hope something can be worked out. It's a very large parking lot. I don't think it's going to have it's not a CVS. So it's only a couple of parking spaces for parking. And I just hope something can be worked out.
Good. All right. Very much. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate your comments and your perspective.
You're very welcome.
Ari Raleigh, you have some comments? Ari, are you on? You're muted. Can you unmute yourself, please? Okay. Ari, we'd like to hear from you. I think you have some comments you'd like to make.
I would just have to agree with Barb. I think the last horrific year that we have all been through, what we need to do is to stifle local business. Lucky to be having a forum at this point. And it's a great business. People love it. They say they love it. It helps with their projects. It's a good thing. Quite frankly, I don't see any business in Hyde Park that's thriving. To me, it's a ghost town. I see a lot of vacancies. I see a lot of closed storefronts. I see empty lots. And this is the kind of business that the community needs at this point.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much for your comments and your observations. Troy, Frank?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I've known, thank you for letting me join your meeting this evening. I've been a resident here in Hyde Park now 15 years, and I've known actually Ron Haas for 15 years. He's done some work here at my home with his construction business. I think what he's doing actually is a very positive thing, as Ari and Barbara have said. I think his business is a very positive business for the town of Hyde Park. It's a very unique business. It's an eco-friendly business. He's able to utilize, have different products that are going to be able to be reused and not thrown into the trash can. So I hope that the town of Hyde Park can work directly with Ron and make his business successful. It's exactly what we need here in Hyde Park.
Okay, good. Mr. Frank, I appreciate your comments and your support there. Serena, have we received any written comments?
No written comments.
No written comments. Okay. Let's go through to any questions or comments from Ms. Moss.
Not at this time. I believe I've presented the case and the restrictions that are on the property, and I appreciate you reviewing the file and making a determination.
Okay. Mr. Logan, anything from the attorney perspective?
I would just want to reiterate again, because this is a unusual proceeding. It's not our typical application, that the ZBA is focusing on whether or not to uphold TAD's determination that the current use of the property is in violation of the zoning law. I also wanted to just put on the record during the public hearing itself a picture of the property that was presented at last month's meeting as well. So I believe TAD was the violation was based on the use of the property as more than just an office and the storage in areas outside the designated storage area on the approval. And that's my comment.
Good. Okay, thank you. Mr. Agarwal, any comments?
Yeah, I think what I'd like to say is, Ron, I think you have a good business that I'm sure a lot of people would like to support. My question would be, to what degree would you be willing or not willing to, for lack of a better word, clean up kind of what we just saw in that picture and maybe keep things outside to some degree, but covered and kind of out of sight? To what degree are you able or willing to modify what we saw in the picture?
Yes, I do agree. There's since the last meeting, I've been going through and cleaning and organizing and kind of dissecting what needs to be there, what does not need to be there. In that regards, kind of organizing, staging the material as far as, you know, kind of reorganizing the piles, right? And that to answer your question, there are things that will continuously be cleaned up and to make it organized and more friendly. I think what I would be asking is a certain portion of the parking lot of that manner. I'm trying to find a way to address your question to me.
So I guess you're willing to work with the zoning enforcer to try to make this work that, you know, satisfies all the parties involved.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm totally entrenched in my whole background, historical restoration within a lot of the buildings and structures within the town of Hyde Park as well. So there's nothing more that I want to do to make it more friendly and more eye appealing and aesthetically pleasing, and working with the town as well to be within compliance and to work together. And I want to be a part of the town for many years to come and just grow a great business and be a part of it and be very proud of it as well. You know, as you and other members of the board, you know, stopping by, saying hi, and, you know, just having that, you know, I'm down family core values. I think that's what's important to me. So I'm willing to, yes, do whatever it would take to structure a great business and organize to move forward in the best way that would work for all of us.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
Thanks.
Mr. Donnelly,
Yeah.
any questions, comments?
Yes, I have a couple questions. I just want to make sure that we're clear, that we're on the same page, that the original variance that was granted in 2009 was for storage. Right, and not for selling salvage material, which was for storage?
The business has always been structured around that. We've always been a demo and salvaging business within the historical restoration company as well. So that's always partaked in a piece of that. So nothing has really changed on that behalf. It has grown and spread out into the parking lot, and I think that's why we're here where we're at today. We were granted the use of the storage area in the rear, and that's where that material has been stored. And I think it's just grown, and it's grown out into the parking lot, but I don't think anything has changed in that manner.
Well, I just want to, all right, well, maybe this could be directed towards Ms. Moss as well, because reading over the notes, there was also a disagreement about the use of a sign. It was posted in July 26, 2020. A sign, I guess it was posted as a business to sell these products. So would that be a separate variance? I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. Was the storage supposed to be used? Was the area supposed to be used just for storage, or is this just part of the business as well?
In my eyes, I was granted that use to be storage area, and that was the whole part of the business. That is my business. And in Mrs. Moss's regards, there was, I hand painted a little sign out front, which I was granted the main sign. And it's almost like a pizza store, right? We have Giacomo's Pizza, right? But every day he pulls out the sign that says, large pie sale, $10, what his product is that he's selling, to drive, to walk in traffic, right? So my business has always been the primary sign. And then I just was explaining a little couple things that were there that we do that surrounds my business. But I don't think anything has changed on that behalf.
But let me make a comment. One of the concerns in terms of the violation was that you've changed the use of the property from what it was originally agreed upon in 2009. And the sign confirms that. So the use that you originally had has changed, and your business has expanded, yes, but the use of the property and the use of the type of business has changed, if I understand correctly. Ms. Moss, am I interpreting that correctly?
At this point, you are interpreting the zoning law yourself. So we are not going to defer to Ms. Moss at this juncture.
Right. Okay. Paul, anything else?
No, thank you.
Mr. Perkins?
Yeah. How is my speech pattern at this point?
It's okay.
Here? I think that Mr. Haas has had some sincere attempts to try and make his business work. He keeps forgetting that the property is currently zoned differently from what he's using it. And we right now, I think, have to determine whether or not Taz's determination of him being in violation is true or if it is not true. So I think that we probably need to vote on that, and at the end of that we can make plans or suppositions or anything else. But I think that's the first thing that we need to do.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Schleppe? You're muted, please. You're muted. Okay.
John, you gotta unmute.
He's working on it.
Okay, did that work? Yeah, thank you. I was under the impression that the use variance, which by the way is somewhat unusual, almost all the variances are area variances. And this was an unusual special thing to make a use variance rather than an area variance. And for the use variance, I thought it was for a construction company. And I can certainly assume that a certain amount of storage is necessary for construction. But when I looked at those photographs, I saw it as being more than construction. It's fine for a business to evolve, but the use variance was for construction, not salvage and demolition. And while I like the idea of recycling, my problem is when I looked at those photographs, is it looked like a bit of an eyesore. And you know, if you were behind a fence or a hedge or a burn, I don't think I'd have a whole lot of concern. Although I'd still think that we would need to change the use variance to reflect or to decide whether we would like to change the use variance to something else. Of course, you'd have to apply for a new use variance. But I would be most concerned about the looks, the scenic look of the property, how that reflects on Hyde Park and how it reflects on people driving by when they look at it. I know that there's another salvage yard, I believe on Cardinal Road, and they've kind of, you know, blocked it off so that it's not something that would be seen easily. Now, I can understand that you might want to show the things that are available should someone want. Of course, they could come into the property and then see it. But they could also, you could probably put some of that on a website, and then people would be able to go to the website to see what kinds of materials are available. But I would be, I guess, just to conclude, I would be most concerned about the look of the property from the road. And I would want some sort of change to happen to make it less odious.
Okay. Thank you, John. Mr. Haas, any other comments or thoughts?
No, I think just one, I agree. And as we move forward as well, I'm doing the best I can to make it more aesthetically pleasing and kind of redefine what I do have in the parking lot and go through what needs to be there, what does not need to be there. And just make it more appealing. Of course, nobody wants to drive by and look at per se like an ugly site or something, or that's not appealing to them. That we want it to be aesthetically pleasing. And of course, to have a business like that, you want if someone's going to drive in, you want them to be feeling comfortable about it. So I am doing the best I can. And as I move forward, I will continuously make it more appealing. And like I said, I'm willing to do whatever it would take to work with the town to be within compliance. And maybe I can plant some shrubbery alongside the guardrail to minimize the view or something. But correctly so, you do want some traffic going past, taking an eyesight on the goods that are available. We do, can visually see things online and stuff like that. So that's a great way as well. I'm just willing to do the best I can.
Good, thank you. I think in my sense, we've heard a lot of comments from everybody in terms of the positive nature of the business, of it's a growing business in Hyde Park. I think yet the board is still focused on the violations which the ZBA enforcement officer has held. And our decision really is, do we continue to support that decision? It does not obviate in the future what can be done to ameliorate the situation for the business and for the town. I think that's beyond the scope of what we're going to make a decision on tonight. Mr. Logan, any comments from you?
I'd have to say that your summation just then was well said. I'd also note that this action is exempt from secret as a type 2 action, so there's no need to perform any.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Moss, anything? Nothing more? Okay. Then I think we will close and continue the public hearing for the next.
Were you trying to close the public hearing or continue? I think you meant close.
I meant close.
Okay.
We'll close the public hearing. May I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed. Mr. Haas, thank you very much for all of your participation, your comments. I think you have a better understanding of where we are, and I think we have a better understanding of where you are. And we will be making a final decision, I think, in the next 2 weeks in terms of our judgment on this.
Okay, and I appreciate your time greatly. And I am, as I might have said before, looking into, what would be within compliance with the planning board and the literature that Tad had presented to me. So we're, that's going to take the application and things of that nature to proceed what is a correct way to be within compliance. So.
Okay. Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you for your time.
And Ms. Raleigh and Mr. Frankie and Ms. Hobbins, thank you very much for participation. Okay, let's go on to the second item here. 2105Z, a hospice sign area variance. And we have for that, Mr. Kaminsky, Ms. Hobbins, and Mr. DuBois. Can you, would you introduce this application in terms of what you're seeking?
Who are you asking?
Is there somebody else addressed?
No.
We have Paul Bicart from Timely Signs.
Right.
By chart.
Okay.
But I can, in its simplest form, what we're asking for is the ability to have a sign that says Hudson Valley Hospice House that is part of or is part of the logo of Hudson Valley Hospice, to make it clear that this facility is part of the agency that's about a mile south of where the facility will be constructed. And apparently there's some sort of a code that would potentially we would create a problem with the lotus flower, the yellow and orange lotus flower that's superimposed on the words Hudson Valley Hospice House. And we're asking, similar to the logo that's affixed to the building where our offices are, to allow us to continue with this size of a lotus flower.
Okay. I've got a little ahead of it myself in terms of just introducing it. You've already done that in a very effective way. Being new at this, I would like to open the public meeting for this. Is there a motion for a public meeting? Rick?
Motion to open the meeting for public hearing.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Public meeting is open. Mr. Kaminsky, we've heard.
I just want to clarify, public hearing.
Hearing.
Just getting that on the record.
Thank you. Public hearing. Is there anybody from the public that wants to make a comment? Do we have anybody?
No, we do not.
Okay. Other comments? Are there questions? Ms. Moss, you have any questions on this?
No, as Mr. Kaminsky said, the other location a bit south of this does have the similar and the same logo on the building. So if you're looking to see an example of what it looks like, there is a sign, I believe it's still there. Is it there, Mr. Kaminsky?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And this is a freestanding sign. It's shown, the location's shown on the site plan. Mr. Bikert has provided the drawings with all the measurements, and we appreciate that. Time to move forward.
I just have one comment.
Come on, Rich.
I just want to say that the entire sign complies with the code. It's really just the symbol, which has been problematic for the hospice logo just because of the proportion it is to the type. Every other item on the sign falls within the code. We've been through this before. It's a fairly innocuous logo. I don't think anyone would have any objection to it. It's just a dimensional challenge.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Mr. Logan, anything?
I'll just note that we referred this application to Dutchess County Planning last month, and I believe we're still awaiting response.
Get a response.
Sorry, what was that?
We did get a response. They said that it's a matter of local concern with no comments.
Excellent. And I'd also note that our last meeting, we classified it as an unlisted action under SECRA, which means that the planning or the zoning board will perform an environmental review. They can make those findings before they vote on the resolution to grant the variance or not at their next meeting.
Okay. Mr. Agarwal, anything?
I have nothing.
Rich?
No comments.
Rich, you have your hand up. You're ready.
Yeah, I think it's very subtle and unoffensive. And I think if it were actual letters and words, it might jump out at you. But this is very nice. And as long as in our environmental review, we mention that it is part of the Maurice Hinchey Hudson River Valley National Heritage Area, I'd be happy.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Donnelly, anything?
No.
Mr. Perkins, okay. And John, anything?
No, I think that the sign is tasteful, and I'm happy when you said that the size of the sign is not a problem. It's just the individual flower, and I agree with what Rich said. It seems to it seems to be identifying very nicely without being in any way offensive to me.
Okay. Okay. I have no questions. Pretty clear. Anything else anybody would like to add? Okay.
Michael, can we reserve a room now for 30 years from now?
You got to pay now.
We have all your names on the roster already.
Okay, good.
I'd like to close the public hearing. Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Well, public hearing is closed. The ZBA will accept written comments on the application for an additional 7 days, which will be sent to the ZBA office at the town hall or emailed to the ZBA secretary. This ends the board's discussion of the application for this evening. Thank you, sir, both of you.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
It's a sign of the times to come.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, let's go on to the third issue, the Du Bois Pool Area Variance 21-08Z. This is an application from Catherine and Michael Du Bois, 21 Roosevelt Road in Hyde Park. They're seeking an area variance for the change in the stream corridor setback for Fall Creek tributary from 100 to 25 for the installation of an above ground pool on the property with a house already built within the stream corridor in the neighborhood district. May I get a motion to open the public meeting?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any Opposed? Passed, okay. We have the Dubois here. Welcome.
Hi.
Can you give us an idea of what you're trying to accomplish? I know you want to go in a swim.
Yes, we're just trying to construct the pool, to the side, in front of the house. I mean, in the backyard,
In between the house
in
and
between the house
the
and
easement.
easement. It's kind of not moving too much. I don't know. It's a stream, but it's it's there, and we have the pool pretty set back from it. And it's in a space that's
Okay, yeah.
Can you still see us? Because
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just showing us the picture.
And actually, by the middle of the summer, every summer, when the spring waters go away, it's no longer a stream, it's just mud.
Yeah.
It's considered an easement on the map, if I'm not mistaken.
In this picture, is that a pool already in the back?
That was a pool that's not any longer there.
Okay. And the pool that you're asking to locate would be where relative to the existing?
Basically the same area, just a little bit bigger.
It's a little bigger, but in the exact same spot.
That circular spot.
Yes.
Correct. And we would move it, as close to whatever we need to move it to in order to appease any laws.
Okay, how does the size of that compare to this in the picture here? It's bigger, but
The other one was an 18, this one's a 24 feet diameter.
About 12 bigger.
Well, it's 3 feet wider on all sides.
Okay.
all right. So
No, 3 feet wider.
another 6 feet maybe.
6 feet in circumference.
Correct. Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Diameter.
Then
Yes.
Okay. That's another picture, huh?
Oh, that's a good picture.
That's the
Google
old-
Maps Pro.
I know, that's good.
Okay, all right, so that's the distance there, and it would, okay. Ms. Moss, any comments or questions?
And that's truly, I'm sorry. Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
And it's actually not a stream. It does not move. You could stand out there for 2 minutes in a row and it will not move back or forth in either direction.
Okay.
It's truly a ditch.
It won't back up, huh? Okay.
May I ask,
Goes nowhere.
may I ask how long you've lived there?
17 years.
Yeah. You've seen quite a bit of water in the back though, over that time, right?
Every spring, yes.
Yeah.
On the
Okay.
snow melt and everything, yes.
So you know that it's gonna come through there one way or another.
Yeah,
When it wants to.
sure.
Patrick, could I ask you?
Rich, let me come back to you.
Sure.
Ms. Moss, any questions?
There has to be some kind of a standard that I use to evaluate applications. And on the DEC website, this segment shows up as a blue line, which I use to trigger the requirement to evaluate the stream corridor. So that's why this particular application for a building permit was flagged, because that's a blue line on a DEC map that's on the Dutchess County parcel access.
Okay.
Anything from our lawyer?
I'd note that this being a residential area variance is going to be exempt from 239M review or SECRA, so no environmental review.
Okay. Let's go. Jim, anything from you?
Just the existing deck and house are well within the 100-foot stream corridor already, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further comments.
Okay, Mr.
Thank you.
Donnelly?
It's a dog.
Sorry. Mr.
Ours were noisy a minute ago, don't worry.
Oh,
I don't know where they went, actually. Oh, no, I mentioned his name.
Okay.
That's fine.
Not a problem.
Mr. Donnelly, anything?
No questions for me.
Okay, Mr. Perkins.
I just wanted to ask Patrick, if we were to approve this, we aren't responsible for anything that happens in that area as far as water damage or anything like that, are we? As a town?
If you're asking about the town's liability based on approvals that it grants, that is something that I'd like to discuss with you offline in an attorney-client session.
Okay.
I can say that generally the individual ZBA members would not be held personally liable because you are government officials.
Okay. Mr. Schleppe, anything?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. In your application, you said that you weren't using public or private water. How do you fill the pool?
Did we say that? That might have been a mistake.
I didn't,
Generally, we either fill it with the hose, or building a new pool will generally get a water delivery.
Okay, okay, so you're going to get a water delivery. That's good. Now, I don't know a whole lot about pools, but I know that you have to keep them clean, and you've got filter and you've got
Yeah.
chemicals that go into the pool. How will you empty the pool at the end of the season?
You generally don't. You generally leave the water in the pool until the following spring, and then you clean it, and so, et cetera.
right, we put a cover on it.
You don't empty it every winter. You just cover it,
We've never emptied it.
and then you treat it the following spring to prepare for the following summer.
I see. Okay, and so you don't, once you fill it, you don't really then empty it. You just keep on cleaning it. Is that
correct? Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
The reason for my questions is that
You're
stream.
gonna fill up the ditch more.
Right.
No, that won't be an issue.
Okay, because I was concerned about whatever chemicals go in there. The Fallkill Creek goes into the Hudson.
Right.
So you get water from there, and I didn't want to have a problem that way. But you're saying that once you fill it, it's filled, and
Right, correct.
and then whatever chemicals are come out in the filtering system and that sort of stuff,
Right.
and get disposed of somehow. I don't.
Right. That just gets handled. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
That was my only concern.
Thank you. Anything else from anybody?
Well, that would be during the backwash cycle. Right?
You're
So
chopping
you
up. a little bit.
backwash
Yeah.
your filter.
Yeah, that
wherever-
happens occasionally.
What does that mean?
Can you explain that, Mike?
Me, Mike?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, all pools are designed to do a backwash, which means you let some of the.
They know, they want to know where it goes.
Oh, where's it go? Generally,
Into the yard.
it goes into the yard. But
Oh.
that's what all people do with their pools, as far as I know.
Okay, can you put it in your yard so that it's further away from the
Sure.
stream, not going towards the stream?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
Kathleen?
I believe also there, the chlorine evaporates or dissipates as the water flows across the ground. It's actually considered a treatment. I don't know the length that's required, but it's preferable to discharge it on top of the ground rather than to put it into a storm drain or a dry well.
Right.
Correct. Yes.
Good.
Now, yeah, that won't be an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? Okay, could I have then a motion to close the public hearing? Paul, second. John, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ZBA will accept written comments on the application for an additional 7 days, which can be sent to the ZBA office of the town hall or emailed to the ZBA secretary. So this ends the discussion today. Thank you very much. At our next meeting, we'll be finalizing this. And Mr. and Mrs. Du Bois, thank you for coming.
Would you like us to
Thank you very
return it
much.
on the next meeting as well?
You certainly can, yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Good evening.
Good evening. Bye-bye.
Okay, the last final issue, we have a withdrawn application 2102Z interpretation of section 108-28 concerning rural event venues. I don't know that there's anything more we needed. They've withdrawn it, so we don't need to consider it. Patrick, is that?
That's correct. You're just noting that you're done considering the matter.
Okay, so we make note that they have withdrawn that, and it will have no further business before the board on that. This concludes the ZBA meeting for this evening. Our next meeting will be June 9th at 2021, at which time we'll anticipate the ZBA will consider resolutions regarding applications for which public hearings have been closed. May I have a motion to adjourn? Second, John, Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
David, I wanted to just commend you for a good job. Seriously.
We got a
Job.
few things mixed up, but okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you for your support. We'll look forward to working with everybody. And Paul, we will get training. I think we all need it to figure out, well, how we can improve in terms of it.
Great.